Hello folks, and welcome to the greenhouse build. Today we'll be concentrating on building the frame for the greenhouse. All the framework was done off site because I've got tools in my house, so it was easier to cut all the frame at the house, and transporting it all over and put it all together at the allotment. You didn't see that, but it took about 3 or 4 hours to put it all together. With the base being all concrete slabs, it took me about 4 hours to get it completely level. I mean, the ground looks level, but from the top of our allotment to the bottom, there's most probably, I would say, a 2 meter fall. So from top to bottom. So this part here, it wasn't that difficult, but it took me a long time to do. The base of the greenhouse consists of paving slabs, and what we're doing here is we're drilling holes through the timber straight into the paving slabs, and then we're going to bolt them down. And every paving slab we're going to have a bolt in, so if it's windy, in theory it shouldn't blow away or anything like that, but you never know. I think on the base, the total amount of screws we used was, I think it was 800. It took a lot of screws to do, and I like to make everything very strong, so we used the turbo screws from Screwfix, and they were on special offer, so I bought them. As you can see in the video here, you can see the tin of blackjack, I think it's called, and that I painted the whole bottom. I think I give it 3 coats of blackjack, which is like a tar material, and it's for roofs really, see, for leaks. I mean, we're using pressure treated wood on the bottom, but I thought if I coated in the blackjack, it'll be really good, so the wood should last even longer. But when it's all up and running, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around with some expanding foam, and if there's any joints, I'm going to fill it all in, and I'm going to cut it all out. Then I'm going to go back over with the blackjack, so there's no water can get underneath. So in theory, the wood should last a very long time. The total size of the greenhouse that we're building is 5 meters by 4 meters by 2 meters high at the side and most probably 3 meters in the center. We wanted it this big because we're intending to put a grapevine in there, and the tools I'm using are all Makita, and it's the best lot of tools I've ever bought. I bought like a 6-in-1 kit, and you got 3 batteries, but I purchased a further 4. So when I've got to do things, I take all the batteries over at the allotment, and I might only use 2 or 3. I've got 3 5-amp-hour batteries and 4 3-amp-hour batteries. And most thing you want to do is always buy good tools, because I've got a cheap set of tools from Lidl, and they're okay, but when you go for a good set, you can notice the difference straight away. It's amazing. As you can see, it was a lovely day in the northeast. There was hardly any clouds in the sky. It was red hot. Perfect day for doing any work outside. We were going to build 3 of these greenhouses, but the cost is going to be ridiculous. So I think we'll only build one, and on the both sides of the greenhouse we're going to buy polytunnels of 6 meters by 3 meters, but we're going to raise them up about a foot and a half, and we'll put little windows in the raised bits so you get plenty of ventilation, because the polytunnels aren't very good for venting. as you can see here, I'm putting 2 bits of wood up to hold the frame of the roof up. It just helps with lean against it, you know, so we don't have to have 12 sets of hands, because it was really heavy. I'm using 3x3 wood, and it's 4 meters wide, so as you can see it looks quite heavy. And what I'm doing when we put it up, I'm drilling it into the top of the frame, and I think I use about 10 screws either side, and I think the screws were 140 millimeters, so they're really strong. All the timber I've been using is all reclaimed. I mean, I did have to buy it, but you are talking a 3x3 by 8 to 12 foot. I was paying £2 per length, so it worked out a lot cheaper than going to a timber yard, because 3x3 8 foot at a timber yard would cost about, I would say the cheapest you can get's about £5, so we're saving well over half price there. Our initial plan was to build a massive greenhouse, which was going to be about 16 meters long by 5 meters wide, but the cost of the timber would have been absolutely ridiculous. You're talking, I reckon, just for the frame alone, you're talking about 600-700 quid. I mean, you could get that size polytunnel for about that. So we decided just to make one and buy the cheap 6 meters by 3 meters greenhouses, polytunnels. I would have liked to have one massive greenhouse, but if we have 3 individual ones, we'll be able to change what we're growing there every year, so they won't be getting the same things every year. So we'll just switch them, like the tomatoes in the greenhouse we'll put in the polytunnel the next year, so the soil gets a rest from one certain plant. Thank you folks, and hope to see you all in the next video.